Drafters who use AI will be replaced by those who don't. You have heard it, I've heard it, and to be honest, I genuinely hate it because it tells you absolutely nothing about what that means for drafting in engineering firms. You ask ChatGPT the same question. I assure you, you're going to get the same answer. Hi, I'm Vignesh. I've spent 18 months building, testing, and failing in AI, and then went on to build agentic workflows for AutoCAD. So, this is what I think. And as usual, I've got in some numbers. So, here's exactly what we are covering today. First, the maths. Why the architecture of AI itself makes fully AI run drafting a liability problem for engineering firms. This is not my opinion, but a number. Second, where most firms go wrong when they try to bring in AI into their workflow, and why the tools they might buy make it worse. Third, the actual system, how AI, code, and your team work together so the error problem disappears and your firm's output goes up without adding headcount. And at the end of the video, I'm going to point you to exactly where you can go to start building this in your firm. So stick around for that. Let's get into it. Let's start with how AI actually works. I'm not talking about the marketing version, by the way. I'm talking about the real version. LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they are probabilistic in nature. Every output is a prediction. At every single step, there's a probability of success, not a guarantee. Remember this, not a guarantee, a probability. Now, let me explain what that means for drafting work in engineering firms. Say your drafting workflow has 10 steps and your AI is running at 90% accuracy, which honestly is pretty good for most applications. But what's your compounded success rate by step 10? 0.9 to the power of 10. That's 34.87%. It's like you're flipping a coin and losing on more than 6 out of 10 times. You know what? I'm feeling a little bit generous. Let's say you push it to 99% accuracy per step, which is genuinely hard to achieve consistently. 0.99 to the power of 10. That's 90.44%. For most industries, that's acceptable. Say marketing, content creation, customer support. The cost of a 10% error rate is manageable. But for engineering, that remaining 10% is not like an inconvenience, it's a liability claim. It's a suspended license. It's your reputation, which you spent 20 years building, just gone. No amount of drafting time saved offsets that risk. Not even close. So, no, full AI automation of CAD drafting using LLMs is not viable, at least for now. Not from an ideological position, but from a mathematical one. So, when firms hear AI can help with drafting, and they immediately think, can it just do it for me? I know this is uncomfortable to hear, but here it goes. AI, as in LLMs, are not God. It will get things wrong for the reasons I explained before. I assure you, most of the answers you're going to get as a straight yes mostly would be from the people selling the tools or these services. When you buy anything where the tools use LLMs to actually execute, what they are buying is a probabilistic system running unsupervised on a process where errors compound with every step. If you couldn't really understand, please go back and listen to it again. Please do. Trust me when I say this, I spent 18 months on this. I have failed publicly. I've had to rebuild multiple times. This is not theory. The compounding error problem is real. And I have watched it cause real problems. So now you might be thinking, okay, Vignesh, so what does actually work? According to me, it's three things. The first one, the AI initiates and orchestrates. AI doesn't sit on the sidelines after the setup. It's the one deciding which workflow to call, which code to trigger, and at key decision points inside the workflow. It's the one maybe, making the calls along with you, by the way. Could be things like which detail to flag, whether this drawing fits the standard or needs a review, which path the workflow takes next. That's the intelligence layer. And honestly, that's where AI belongs, where judgment is needed. So if you go back to our 10-step process, you would only use AI, say, in, I don't know, step 4 or 5 or step 5 or 7, something like that. And the rest will be triggered by code. Thereby, you will increase the probability of success. Second, code handles everything deterministic. Once AI had made a decision, the code executes it. Every step that has a known repeatable answer, like your title block population, sheet numbering, transmittal generation, file naming, output formatting, code handles that, not AI. Because code doesn't guess, it doesn't go, oh, I need to predict something. No, it does exactly what you told it to do every single time. So AI is not replaced by code, and code isn't like a fallback for when AI fails or anything. They each do what they are actually good at. AI handles the decisions, code handles the execution. Third, human in the loop at the right checkpoints. At the moments that matter, before a drawing gets signed off, before a set goes out, a person validates it. That's Please don't look at it like a bottleneck. Just look at it like a shield for your liability. And when you put human in the loop at each of those checkpoints, you reset the error probability to effectively 100% before anything moves forward. At that point, your compounding problem disappears. So the full picture is this: AI orchestrates the workflow, handles the key decisions inside it, code executes the deterministic steps, the human validates before anything leaves the firm. Known failure points get handled before they become errors. AI's decision making improves as the workflow matures, and the human catches anything that still slips through at the exact right moment, not after the fact. Now, I want you to stop thinking about tasks and start thinking about outputs. A drafter running this kind of system is not building from scratch anymore. They are reviewing and approving. It's like same team, completely different output level for your firm. So, can AI replace AutoCAD drafters? Not if you're asking AI to do it alone. The math won't let you, at least for now. But a system where AI orchestrates and makes key decisions, code handles the deterministic work, and your team validates at the right checkpoints. That changes what your firm can deliver. That's what I've been building. Now, if you want to actually move on this, here's where you can go after this video. Option one, the fastest one, book a free one-on-one CAD clarity call. It's 45 minutes. We look at your firm's actual workflow. I tell you exactly where the leverage is, and you walk away knowing what's possible. No pitch, just clarity. Option two, I've got a video on how to use Claude today to use in your workflow. I go from setting it up to your first agentic workflow. You still need a paid Claude account, by the way. Option three, if you want to explore what agentic workflows actually mean and you just want to have a feel for it, I have a video on Google's free alternative, which is Google Anti Gravity, where you go from setting it up to your first automation. All the three links are in the description below.